Welcome back to the Neuro Finance Masterclass. We spent a ton of time recently in this series drilling down into the mechanics, right? How to build a robust portfolio, the math behind rebalancing, managing your risk, all that good stuff. But let's just hit pause for a second. Why are we actually doing all of this? Are we putting in this intense work just to see a big glowing number on a screen at the end of the day? Absolutely not. We're doing this for the ultimate goal. We are doing it to literally buy back our time. So, this is day 81 of our 365 Days to Financial Freedom series, and today's explainer is focused entirely on how you build your passive income engine. Today's theme? Passive income, dividends, and staking.
Warren Buffett actually once dropped a legendary and honestly slightly terrifying truth. He said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die.
Wow, yeah, it perfectly encapsulates the stakes of what we're talking about today. If you're exclusively trading your hours for dollars, you are completely trapped in a finite equation. There are only so many hours in a day, and eventually, you're going to run out of them.
Exactly. So today is all about breaking out of that equation. It's about building a relentless passive income engine so you can permanently escape that daily grind and detach your income from your actual physical labor.
All right, let's dive into section 1, cash flow versus capital gains. Now, before we get into specific financial vehicles, we literally need to rewire how we view investments. It really boils down to the contrast between an amateur and an architect. The amateur, they focus almost entirely on capital gains. Their strategy is basically buying an asset at $10, nervously watching the markets, and just hoping it goes up to 20.
Right, and here is the critical flaw in that amateur mindset. To actually spend that profit, to buy groceries or pay your rent, you have to sell the asset. You literally have to kill your golden goose just to get the gold.
Exactly, but contrast that with the architect. The architect focuses squarely on cash flow. As an architect, you don't just want to get rich, you want to own assets that pay you regular money just for the act of holding them. You keep the goose and you collect the eggs.
And when your cash flow from these investments grows large enough to cover your monthly living expenses, a massive psychological and financial shift happens. You're officially free. You no longer work for survival, you work for purpose.
Moving on to Section 2, the Stock Market Shield, which is all about dividend investing.
Let's break down exactly how this works in traditional finance. Dividend investing is this incredible practice where highly profitable, established companies generate massive profits. But instead of hoarding all that cash, they distribute a portion of it directly back to you, the shareholder, in cold, hard cash.
And guys, this isn't just theory. Think about the companies we call dividend aristocrats. These are massive global giants. Take Coca-Cola, for example, that have reliably paid out quarterly cash to their shareholders without fail for over 50 years. They've survived every major recession, every market crash, every crisis along the way, and they just kept cutting checks to the people who own their stock.
That is the power of the Shield. You receive actual cash deposits directly into your brokerage account while maintaining your complete ownership stake in the company. You're literally getting paid cash just for being an owner. And here is where the math starts to work absolute miracles. You can reinvest to grow your snowball at hyperspeed. If you remember our core lesson from day 68 of this series, we talked all about the immense power of compounding.
Oh, this is my absolute favorite part. If you're in the building phase and you don't immediately need that dividend cash flow just to survive, you take those quarterly cash deposits and immediately plug them right back into the machine to buy more shares.
Exactly. And then those new shares start generating their own dividends, which in turn buy even more shares. It creates this self-feeding, unstoppable loop where your wealth snowball grows at a hyper-accelerated pace. The engine literally builds itself. All right, let's jump into Section 3, the crypto engine and digital staking. So, we've established the traditional side. Now let's step into the modern era and talk about the decentralized equivalent of dividends. Crypto staking applies to proof-of-stake assets, with Ethereum being the most prominent example. When you hold these assets, you can actually lock your coins directly into the network.
Yeah, think of it kind of like this. Instead of your crypto just sitting idly in a digital wallet doing nothing, you're putting your assets to work as digital security guards for the blockchain. By locking them in, they validate transactions happening all over the world.
And because your assets are providing this vital security service, the network effectively pays them a salary. It automatically distributes rewards back to you in the form of more coins. So you've just transformed a static holding into an active, yield-generating asset. Earn digital interest powered by decentralized code instead of a government printing press.
That hook right there, that is the entire paradigm shift. You are earning yield much like a traditional savings account, but the underlying foundation is entirely different.
Absolutely. Instead of relying on the unpredictable nature of government fiat currency or, the inflation targets of a central bank, this system relies strictly on transparent, verifiable mathematics. It's this impartial, automated digital engine that works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, executing exactly as the code dictates.
Which brings us to Section 4, your freedom score, the ultimate architect goal. Okay, we've covered the architect mindset, the stock market shield, and the crypto engine. Now it is time to bring all this high-level theory into intense, practical reality. These are your marching orders for today. Step 1. Calculate your basic monthly needs. And you need to be brutally honest and precise here. Add up your rent or mortgage, your food costs, and your essential bills. Get that exact baseline number down on paper.
And then we move to Step 2. Build a dividend and staking engine specifically designed to generate that exact amount. Listen, once you have your baseline number, your singular financial mission from this day forward is to construct a machine that hits that target. You have to stop working for dead fiat currency that loses purchasing power every single year and aggressively build a machine that breeds money while you sleep.
Which brings us to the ultimate question we're leaving you with as we close out day 81. What is your freedom score? Please, do not just finish this explainer and move on to the next distraction on your feed. Sit down, do the math today, and find your specific number. Because the exact moment your passive engine generates that target, you literally buy back the rest of your life. Make that score your absolute obsession.
Start building that engine today.
Seriously, start building that engine today.